What's up, guys? Shouri here, and today I got 3 games that I played yesterday versus different people in Imp, and it's kind of to illustrate the way the Escort is now is kind of stupid. It's unbelievably one-sided, and for those of you who don't know, instead of both teams going on offense and defense, it is just one team. And if you are on defense, you have an unbelievable advantage over the offensive team because it's just simply easier to defend than it is to attack. And part of that is because you have to capture it on offense. Before, if you just got it far enough and then you played good defense and you were just a better team, you would win. Now it's not about who's the better team, it's about who's playing certain comps and just who's stopping the other team, and really it just depends on who got attack and who got defense. It is still possible to win while you're on attack. It's just if you have two teams that are equally as good, most of the time the defensive team will win. And part of the reason the defensive team is at such a disadvantage is you, one, have Osis, which has teleporters, so the defensive team can get there very, very quick. And then you also have the fact that the attack team has to use a tank, so they only have 2 people who can really do damage. And you also have the fact that the attack team has to go onto the point as much as possible to move the cart, so the defensive team knows where they are. And it's one thing if it's just like, okay, cool, you have to get it a certain amount of distance, but no, you have to cap it all the way. And that's where it becomes a problem and unbelievably hard to actually do. That being said, if you are much better than the other team, you can still win on offense, and it's not really that bad. But it's really the problem of you have to be much better than the other team to win it, and that kind of sucks. One thing I do like, though, is that people can't play characters they're absolutely awful at and then just win because you did really good on one side, and so you're just playing terrible characters on the other side. You actually have to play characters you're good at, and I'm assuming this is why they made the change. There were a ton of people who were like really high-level Jabalis and other characters that would go in and they would just win, and they're not like very good at all, and they wouldn't be able to play anything but Clash and Escort, and the sole reason for that is literally they just aren't good at the characters, but they were able to win as a team of 3, and they would just have like one really good character and then level all the other ones up in the second round, and that kind of sucked. I'm not a huge fan of that, and I kind of am glad that they are trying to take a stance on that. But what I really wish they would have done is just made it to where you have to go in and play people at the same rating as you are. Because, let's be real, like, that will stop a lot of the problems that there are in Escort. This is not the way. This just makes a very unfair playing environment. And right here we are wall peeking, and even though it won't shoot them automatically, you can manually fire. That's why even if you do use auto fire, you should always have a manual fire button and be prepared to use it. And if you guys do end up getting defense, your best bet is to always have an Osis with the second ultimate so he can teleport your team back in there if you guys do end up dying. And then make sure that you have a Hunter. The knockback and the wall peeking ability from Hunter, as well as being able to kill people from long range, is so helpful. And then Gloria is really easy to use as another character, or if you want to go for something like a shield, go for like a Ruby. There's just really any third option, but having an Osis with a teleporter and having a Hunter is just so much better and puts you in such a great position, especially because the knockback can help you get the Jabalis away from the cart, and it just all around helps you in pretty much every way. But the problem with that is that it makes defense super unfair, and I don't really know how they can get around that without having both rounds. I get that the problem is that you're giving people who are playing these characters in the second rounds a lot of experience that they don't deserve, and it just was all a really big mess anyways. The fact that you can go in at 5,000 trophies and play someone who literally has 700 account-wide trophies. That shouldn't really happen, but it is how it worked. And honestly, they may have fixed that part because every single game we played Imp. It was actually like 3 completely different imp teams, which is kind of weird. But we did actually have a lot of games versus pretty high rating people. Everyone had like 12 or 1300 trophies at least. So it was more even than I remember it being in the past. And I don't know if that was just no one but Imp was active, or if it's actually more balanced now and you're playing people that are at your rating. Honestly, I don't really want to play more Escort to find out, because again, it really is not very fair. I mean, as you can see, these guys have absolutely no chance in these games. And I don't mean that they're bad and that's why this is happening. It's just they're at such a disadvantage. And while we would probably win no matter what, it doesn't make it any better, because we could almost lose to them. As I'll show you, this is us playing from the other side of it. I mean, we got absolutely stopped and dominated for like the first minute and a half here, and then we were able to finally start pushing it out a little bit more, and it was just really annoying and an actual problem. And they highlighted the biggest problem I have with this. The way they were stopping us was they were using the Shell second ult and the Lobulus second ult. And so basically, every time we had a good shot at pushing it and we would kill them all, their ultimates would be back up. And then as soon as the Lobula would have his ult go up, and they would be able to take you out of all of your stuff, then the Shell would have his up, and he could throw you in there, and then he could kill you too. And that is a huge problem, especially because defensive ultimates are so much easier to block than offensive ones. So basically, they can just use, every time I have my reflection shield, one of their 2 ultimates and immediately break it. And honestly, the only reason we're able to push it and do as well as we are is because I have 2 very good teammates. Shadow is a very good sniper, and Jumpy is an amazing Aletta. So obviously that does help a lot. I mean, really, Shadow just started hitting a ton of shots, and everything turned around pretty good. A lot of it had to do with the fact that I'm also pretty good at Jabali. I can stay alive on very low health, and just be overall annoying. I also know when to let my shields recharge, and then also how to heal using the cart, and then when I need to put that shield up, exactly how to get away, or when to start attacking if you're like close enough to him to start doing some damage. And the point of me saying this isn't saying, oh, look how good I am. It's literally the fact that we aren't doing this very easily. And we're all very good at our characters, and we're all playing pretty well. I mean, Jumpy is doing great on Aletta, I'm staying alive on 0 health, and then you just have Shadow hitting all the shots in the world. But, like, we're a minute and 48 out. I mean, obviously, we're doing really good, and we're gonna get it right here. But the thing is that, like, if a few shots didn't land, or just a few, like, bad things happened, this could turn around very quickly. And that's a problem. The fact that we have to play so perfect, and we're all pretty good players, makes no sense that it should be this hard. I mean, the other team just is at such an advantage right there, and I really don't like it. I think you should both play both sides like it was before, because it's really just the only way to make it fair. Speaking of fair, it's unfair that Opal hates vacuum cleaners, so my daughters tried to give him some ear protection and make it a little better on him. They didn't really put it on very good, but hey, it's the thought that counts, and he just looks so cute, I figure I should show you guys. Anyways, thank you to all my donators and channel members. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you all have a great day.